two-division champion Amanda Nunes is looking to defend her bantamweight belt for a sixth time at UFC 289 as the Octagon returns to Canada. On the other side, Irene Aldana looking to give Mexico another champion. Here for the big preview is Fortis MMA headman Sayif Saud. Sayif, based on Irene Aldana's last 3 stoppage wins, safe to say she's earned this championship opportunity against the future Hall of Famer Amanda Nunes. Should be a great fight.
Absolutely. This is a big one, Brendan. And Amanda is widely regarded as the female GOAT of the bantamweight and featherweight division. She's had some incredible performances inside the octagon over the years. We've seen her amazing knockout power. She's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu with good wrestling and a very solid ground game. She has amassed 10 championship wins over the course of her career, which is just amazing. She's taking on the streaking Irene Aldana, who has captivated us and really kind of gotten people rooting for her. And I think people are excited about this fight. But Irene has got fantastic boxing and awesome footwork, some of the best in the bantamweight division that she uses to move around the octagon. She's also crafty on the ground. I can't wait to see this fight unfold.
A lot of people thought it was just an eventuality that Irene Aldana would fight for a title. Came a little bit sooner than perhaps she and some others expected after the fight was originally booked for Pena. Let's go into fight focus. We're going to start with Amanda Nunes, and her power is certainly one of the reasons why she has a stocked highlight reel and that she is regarded as the greatest of all time in women's mixed martial arts.
Absolutely. I mean, just some huge moments and big, big fights, not only with the hands, Brennan, but also the legs. Let's just take a look at some of the moments we've seen from Amanda Nunes using that power inside the octagon. This is such a big moment for her. I really feel like this was kind of her coming out party against Ronda Rousey. Her ability to put punches together, big, huge shots that we kind of had never really seen at the bantamweight division. Finishes Ronda, huge win. Then the next challenge was, hey, you're a power puncher, you're big, you're strong, but can you fight the other person that was known as the biggest puncher ever in women's MMA, and that was Cyborg. And we want to stop right here, and we just want to talk about some of the technicalities that we see Amanda employ. And I want to watch this foot right here and just kind of what she does. So Cyborg starts right here. She's over here, right? She was over here. And Cyborg is moving. She's already gotten stung by Amanda here. She's moving. She's trying to trap. We're going to see how Amanda cuts off the cage and how good she is as her footwork. Her lead foot being right here, right now, right? We're going to pay attention to what she does with her lead foot and also what she does with her rear foot, okay? So we're going to watch her lead foot move here. Her lead foot's going to move huge, right? She moved her lead foot from there all the way to here, but her rear foot barely moves. Well, Cyborg, who was over there, has moved all the way over here. This is how Amanda tracks people. She'll keep that back foot here, and she'll just track them with the front foot. She's very good at understanding her power base. So even though Cyborg feels like she's gotten out of the way, Amanda's still in a very nice set position. Again, Cyborg's gonna slide again, and you're gonna see Amanda barely moves that back foot, and look at how much she's moved the front foot. The front foot, again, is way over here. Cyborg now is way over here. But we see that Amanda really hasn't moved that back foot very much. In doing that, she's got that power loaded and ready, and she's so good at delivering this shot. Big shot over the top, right on the chin, without really moving this foot much. She's good at cutting off the octagon, getting people to try to run, and locating her power shots. So she hits Cyborg clean here, and I'm gonna let this play. This was big, big, big time. I mean, everybody was screaming and yelling, and to see Cyborg fall like this, that was the shot heard around the world, that one that put her down. Let's pause this here. A great striker here in Holly Holm. Let's take a look at what's going on here technically. We see Amanda, she's trying to get outside the lead leg. Holly knows that, right? Holly's very elusive in the octagon. She moves around a lot. We're gonna see Holly, when she comes in this zone, there's a touch. And Holly is getting her distance management. Okay, you're touching me. I don't wanna be here, I can get hit. Holly's getting that distance, and we're gonna see Holly, she's gonna slide back away from the power side, and Amanda's like, okay, all right, when I come in the zone, she doesn't want any of that, so she's backing up. So Amanda makes a little adjustment here, and we're gonna watch this big, beautiful head kick that she throws, all right? And I really want you guys to pay attention. Every time she throws a kick, it's just the beauty of the pivot and how she opens her hips up. I mean, it's really textbook stuff. So just another aside right here. Holly blocks that kick, but what she's doing is, let me borrow you again. Give me switch your
this way. Okay, here we go.
So what she's doing is she's got that big overhand right that we saw, right? And she knows that Holly's going to back up whenever she gets close. Holly's backing up this way. Give me a little bit of that, right? So she knows, what can I touch her with?
Yeah,
I can hit her with the leg, all right? So she doesn't quite catch her with this. Holly sees it, but she makes her read. Now let's take a look at what happens just shortly after that. So Amanda's got her read. She sees what reactions Holly is doing. And then let's just let this play here. Feint the right hand, boom. And this happened very shortly after that first scenario. And that's why I put that in there. Now let's look at this. Let's watch Amanda and her vision. Champions have vision. They understand distance management in a way that most fighters don't. And that's kind of why they're champs. It's a big reason why we see championship fighters managing distance. They're always hitting and not getting hit. We see Amanda, she's gonna feint that jab. She's gonna get that reaction out of Holly. There's that little hand. And Holly's like, okay, I've got time here to throw this side kick, this lead leg side kick. So she feels like she's out of the way of danger. She goes to throw this lead leg side kick. But Amanda, I mean, look at Amanda. Amanda, and you can already see it. It's in motion. It's already in motion. Because she throws that kick, she stays still to throw it. And it's all Amanda needs to throw that head kick. And this just happens literally maybe a minute or two after that first exchange. And Holly tries to get out of the way, but it's just perfect placement. So she got Holly to bite on the reaction to try to back up. And once Holly stayed there and made that mistake, she pays the biggest price, gets hit with that head kick. This just shows how Amanda uses her range and understands where she needs to be on the power.
Well, we certainly know her highlight reel is stocked because of those power shots, both with the hands and the legs. Striking diversity is something that Amanda Nunes has in spades. She's not just a knockout artist only, very technical and has a lot of striking diversity.
Absolutely, Brendan. She didn't become the greatest female fighter ever just throwing bombs. She's very, very technical. She's got a great kicking game that she uses from the orthodox and also the southpaw. Let's take a look at some of the tricky things that she does in the striking department. Here she is against Cyborg, and I just want to show you, this is the very beginning of the fight. Let's look at how she comes out right away. Let's watch this foot right here. I want you to take a look at every time Amanda Nunes throws a kick, how well she turns that foot, gets all that torque to open up her hips. She's very, very powerful, but also still very, very fast. She's gonna open up with this big low kick, and she's gonna knock Cyborg off balance big time. And we're gonna see where she lands this right on the calf, which is gonna kill the motion. And then also, again, the foot is all the way turned out, opening the hips up. Beautiful kick, but that's not the impressive part. After she knocks Cyborg off balance, she sees an opportunity. She hits her with the one and then follows up with the big right hand, and she does it immediately, right? Usually we say throw punches and then throw kicks. With Amanda, she'll throw kicks low, right? She'll catch people off balance, and as they're trying to come back to balance, she'll hit them with hands. So something that she's really, really good at, it's something that you don't see a lot of. Nails her with a two, gets her off balance right from the jump of the fight. Here she is against Raquel Pennington, and I think this is very interesting. They're in very close quarters here. They're close to each other. Usually you see some wrestling here, or you'll see a clinch, or you'll see some boxing. Watch how opportunistic Amanda is with her striking. She's always paying attention. So you see her, she's down here. She's always looking and watching, right? You would think, okay, maybe she's gonna throw some body shots. Maybe she's gonna clinch. Watch what she does here. She sees an opportunity, and she's been banging this leg the whole fight. She goes right back to it. Hard leg kick right here. Gets Pennington sideways. And again, what do we see? She's got her rocked on the bottom. Here comes the top. Flashes the jab. Pennington not in time. Again, boom. 1-2 right down the middle. I'm getting you low. I'm getting you high. I've got you frustrated. Beautiful stuff here from Amanda Nunes. Now we're going to stop this. We've seen her executing in the orthodox stance, right? We've seen this before. This was her last fight with Juliana Pena. She comes out southpaw and uses this almost the whole fight. And I want to look at what she does here and how tricky she is. So she's got her hand out here measuring distance. And Pena is going to meet her and touch that hand right here. Right when she touches that hand, she knows she's got the right distance to fire this front kick right up the middle. This is so smart by her, right? She sets traps, she lets people walk into them, and then she fires the kick. So she's giving her something up the middle because Pena likes to charge right up front. So this whole southpaw stance that she used really messed Pena up, and gave her fits. And then we're going to see her again. She's going to stick that hand out, and she's just going to go right back to measuring. And just not something that we saw her do before, so just shows her adjustment and her ability and diversity in her striking and how she can utilize it. So great stuff here. And then finally, we see her and Pena facing off here in the southpaw. Again, this time Amanda's just waiting, right? And we talked about how we know Pena likes to come straight in. She likes to come straight in. She's that type of fighter, right? We saw it in the first fight. She's going to come straight in. She's going to throw 1-2. She's going to clinch. She's going to look for an opportunity to make the fight gritty. Amanda knows that. And the way that she made this switch in her game, she throws the left hand, but as you see, she puts her right hand in front. Her right hand is the lead when she's southpaw, right? And we know how much power she has in the right hand. She's going to catch her clean coming in here and drop her. She dropped Pena 2 or 3 times with this combination, and we're going to see why. Here comes Pena charging in. She's going to throw that initial punch. Amanda sits with the left hand, but look at this. We see this hand is down. We know that Pena is charging in, and Amanda has that right hand ready to go, and she throws it right over the top. And we're going to see Pena's eyes are even closed before the punch even lands. And she does this a lot, right? She kind of just closes her eyes and just kind of goes in. And Amanda just sat, waited and baited her, and hits her with this beautiful right hook, dropping her and really puts her on her butt. It was one of the biggest changes I saw in this fight was the way that she adapted the southpaw stance. And I look for her to do the same thing against Aldana, because Aldana moves a lot towards the power side. Here she is with Sarah McMahon, and I just want to show you the way that she uses her length. Sarah McMahon is going to wind up here with a big kick and throw it. We're going to see Amanda just slide just effortlessly out of the way. But right in this position right here, as they turn around, Sarah is completely turned around. And when you look at the distance that Amanda is at right here, how far away she is from Sarah. I mean, she's pretty far away, right? Watch how she closes this distance here, Brendan. As she turns around, Amanda is going to get so long with this right hand, and we talked about it in the power section. She's so good at delivering this shot from distance. And look at how far she is here, how much space she covers. But not only that, she's very good with this little left hand. She carries it down low here, but she always finds a way to track it. So she hurts her with the right hand, but watch this little shovel hook right here. Boom. Gets her head up, tees her up perfectly for another follow-up shot. The right hand sits her down. Amanda Nunes can switch stances. She's got power and skill in both hands, left, right. Got to watch out for the kicks as well.
On the other side, Irene Aldana comes from Mexico, a country known to produce legendary boxers, and that has certainly been her hallmark, albeit in mixed martial arts. The boxing has led to some knockout wins and some impressive highlights.
Absolutely. Aldana has very sharp boxing. She's got a very educated lead hand. She uses her jab very well to set up that really nice right hand. She can throw it straight, but her best punch, I think, is the hook, whether as a counter or as a lead. Let's take a look at some of the things that Aldana does so well with her hands. So here she is against Bernardo, and when she's got the reach advantage, interesting enough, she's long, but she's a little bit shorter than Nunes. So this is going to be a very big point here. Is most of the people she fights, she's longer than. Not all of them. Shasan was a little bit longer than her, but here against Bernardo, when she's got the length, she'll just walk it in, and you'll see why. She's going to throw this jab, and they're throwing at the same time, but her length is going to win here, right? And she touches Bernardo, and she's already on her way out when Bernardo throws. So when she gets that jab going, she can get it going forward, and she can back people up. But she also uses this punch in a different way. So here she is throwing a jab, and Bernardo has made the adjustment. She knows, all right, I don't want to get jabbed. So she blocks. When you parry a jab, you don't want to parry with this hand. If I parry with the other hand, the right hand can come over because I have a space there. So this is the right defense. She parries the shot, but let's watch what Aldana does here. Let's watch Aldana's lead hand. She goes with the momentum of the parry and comes over the top, turns the knuckles over, and lands a beautiful little hook, right? That's the way she uses that lead hand as an adjuster and gets people to start reacting. And when they start reacting, bad things happen, Brendan, and that's what we're about to see. A lot of bad things are going to happen. Once you start getting the hands away from the face, that's when openings take place. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So here's Bernardo trying to react. This time, Aldana with the lead right hand, right? So she's covering up, but you're going to see this little shovel hook, right? It barely misses, but we've got hands away from the face now. You can see her hands are away from her face. She is reacting, and we never want to get our hands away from our chin. That's the whole point of a striker's trying to do. Get my hands away from my face so she can touch my chin. And this is exactly what happens here. She gets her hands way away from the face. Here comes a big right hand, lands it flush right on the chin. Bernardo has a good chin. She eats this punch, rocks her badly, but she stays standing up. And we can see again, here's that shovel punch, and it's just going to miss. This is how Aldana mixes and matches, but right over the top and right on the chin. Really, really good execution here from Aldana. Really well done. Moving forward, though, we see that she can mix it up. She'll throw the right hand lead, again right here as a lead, and she got Bernardo to what? She got Bernardo to feint again and move her hand. And the way she throws this up punch, really, really good. Again, it's down here, but she's good at distance management. She doesn't take too much risk when she's up close, although she does get hit. She does get hit quite a bit. She doesn't seem to be scared of it. Look at the placement on that up punch. Just another example of her using the lead hand with success, landing it and confusing her opponents, keeping them on the heels of a dilemma. Now, this is a very interesting take here. Yana likes to clinch, likes to come forward, right? And we've seen Aldana, we've seen her move around, we've seen her set things up. Here, she's just going to wait. And what I want you to see is, I want you to take a look at how much we always say, sit down on your punch. I want you to sit down on your punch so you have all the power. Look at where she starts here, right? And we're going to revisit this. She starts right here. As Yana comes in, Aldana has made a decision. I'm committed. I'm not moving. I'm going to fire that straight right hand. Look at the distance and how much she's changed where she was, right? And she didn't move a lot. She just went what? Down. She sat all the way down on that right hand, getting all the power in her legs and her butt. She nails Yana. And this changes the fight a little bit. And we're going to look at how it does. She hurts Yana with this shot. And you can see Yana stumble a bit here and kind of get off balance. And you already see Aldana. She's already skating out. She's already getting away from the power hand. Really good footwork, which we'll talk about here shortly. So now Aldana's like, all right, I hurt you with that. And I'm just going to stop right here. And I want you to start looking at what happens when somebody's getting outstruck. They start closing their eyes. They start blinking. They start thinking, oh, something's coming. Their confidence starts to break. And you've seen this a lot, cage side. And Yana started reacting in a very weird way. I mean, she started blinking and moving her hands a lot. And you can see Aldana calm down here and look for the sniper shots. So here's Yana blinking, and her eyes are closed again. She hasn't even been hit yet. She's bloodied up. She's hurt. That shot hurt her. But you can see Aldana, she's going to try to throw that left hook. She just barely misses her, right? But she's kind of getting her timing. Again, Yana just wants to charge forward here. She wants a close distance. She doesn't want to get hit. She's already getting hurt from the outside. So here she is charging forward. Hands are down, right? These are not the positions that you want to be in, especially when you just took a hard shot right to the temple. But you get frantic, and we saw that. And Aldana's really, really a cool customer in there. She's very calm, and she's always analyzing what's going on. So Aldana, again, eyes wide open. She's going to throw a short little right hand here. It's not really going to land, but she's very good at getting out of the way. So she's going to frame, get out of the way, and reset. Yana, kind of still frantic, a little bit desperate, is going to come at her again here and start to really try to come forward. And here's where we see the big moment. I want to watch Aldana's right hand here. She moves it just a little bit. Now she's thrown it and stung her. She threw it again coming in. So Yana's like, all right, she's got that right hand. It's there. I got to be careful. So we're going to watch the right hand move just a little bit here. She's going to feint that right hand. There it is. Well, Yana is like, all right, I'm not getting hit with that right hand. I'm going to keep that hand high. But the mistake was what? Again, same thing as Bernardo. She's starting to move that other hand. She got that other hand away from her face. And Aldana sees that and lands her beautiful hook. This is her punch. She's dropped multiple people with it. She's very good at locating it, very good at finding the chin. And we're going to let this play. She drops Yana, gets on top, and just starts going to work. Here she is against Caitlin Vieira. Vieira is a big puncher. She's got a good chin, and she likes to stand and bang. And Aldana knows that. So we're going to watch Aldana set this up. She's going to throw this jab here, and she's going to get a reaction, right? Here again, we talked about the reaction. Vieira is going to go to parry this shot. Aldana is going to come short, but look at where she lands. She lands this right hand right over the top. Vieira stayed still, right? Aldana's head is now way over here. She started over here, okay? So that's what you want to do. You want to blind your opponent, then you want to get your head out of the way, and you want to land your shot. And that's exactly what she does here. Lands a perfect right hand, starts taking the lead a little bit. She's got Vieira reacting. She always throws that jab afterwards, and let's remember that. So here she comes. She's moving to the side. High hands. There's that little feint. And look at the hand of Vieira. We're going to let this play, and then we'll go back and look at it. Huge punch. And this follow-up shot was just vicious. Put Vieira out cold. Now let's look at this. This tells the whole story. Again, here's the hand. It's up high. All right, I'm ready. Well, you know, Aldana, she was ending everything with what? She throws, and then what? She throws the jab. Mm-hmm. She does her deal. She throws the right hand. She ends with the jab. So again, you set traps. So Vieira's like, all right, she's probably going to jab. I think she's going to jab. This hand comes out. Watch Vieira's hand here. Watch what she does with that hand. She thinks it's a jab. She's going to parry the jab. She comes right around that, and she's going to land that perfectly on the chin. And when you see the impact here, right, this is what you want as a striker. You want those big two knuckles right on the chin. That's what you're looking for. Not even the whole hand, those two knuckles, right? Small surface area, and she nails her with this punch. I mean, look at the rotation of the head. And that's what really knocks people out, is their head whips around. Irene Aldana, dangerous on the feet with the boxing.
You mentioned earlier that Amanda Nunes will eat you up if you circle to the power side, and also that Irene Aldana tends to do that, but she does have great footwork, and she can work the lower half of her body well, and she'll figure to need it against Nunes.
Absolutely, Brennan. I think she's got some of the best footwork in the bantamweight division, right? But not only with the hands, she also has good kicks, and she utilizes it all together. Let's take a look at some of the things she does and some of the motion she does. I'm just going to let this play. Let's just get it back to where she starts at so we can kind of remember. All right, so she starts right here, kind of by that UFC, right? So we're going to watch Aldana. She's going to slide. This is the power side, right? And usually you don't want to slide towards the power side. We saw Pennington get eat up with the leg kicks. You can't stay close when someone's orthodox and power. But what you can do is you can go wide, right? And if you go wide enough, sometimes the other athlete will just follow you, okay? And then you can create an angle here to strike. And this is exactly what Aldana does. She constantly slides out and creates an angle. So she slides out. Pudilova's trying to find her, doesn't hit her with anything. She's still moving. She'll stop, give her a little juke. Now she's almost all the way back to where she started. She pulls fighters towards her. Pudilova is just chasing, right? You start forgetting about all the details. You're like, let me track this person down. It's exactly what she does. But she's already where she wants to go. She's already gotten her little bit of a lead and a little bit of an angle. And even though she's in front of the power side, she's a step ahead as far as the timing goes. We saw that sit down right hand. Here she goes again, lands that right on the nose, catches her, head out of the way. So she pulled her in. There goes that jab again, that snappy jab. And here again, it's the same thing. She kind of misses here, and we're going to see her move around. She gets out of the way. This time, instead of using her hands, she's going to use kicks. So again, she's far enough away that she's thinking about boxing. She's created her angle, but she's landing kicks. And she's got good turn on her foot, good position, and you're going to watch her again. She's just going to slide out of there. Oh, I'm gone. So she does this over and over again. Well, she'll land and then she'll move. This is probably one of the best cases I've ever seen of someone moving and hitting and moving and hitting and moving and hitting. I'm just going to let this play here. She's going to get her range here on Melo. She's going to find that jab right there. Boom, boom. Look at this 1-2 right here. So again, she's so good at moving around. She started all the way over here. We let it play. I mean, she's all the way on the other side of the octagon. She's so good at sliding. I mean, she really is. And she'll go both directions. But let's watch what she's doing. She got her jab. Now here comes a return fire, right? Return fire. I'm going to the right side. I'm going towards the power side, which we said is a no-no. But if I'm long enough, what? I can get away with it. She barely gets away with it, but she does. And she does this a lot. But now you've missed, and where am I? I'm in a position to hit you. So she's got her angle, even though she's in front of the power side. And here's a big 1-2. She touches her perfectly on the temple. Lands that shot, and then again, watch. She slides out. She's looking at her the whole time. Watch Aldana's eyes. You know, when you look at the film on her and Nunes, they're always watching. They're not closing their eyes. They're not confused. They're not just doing whatever happens. They're planning on the strikes that are happening. Now, again, with the jab and the distance, and then Melo back, nope. So she's scoring over and over again with jabs, with 1-2s. Melo is just following her. And then finally, we see again with the kick, her ability to land this kick in close with somebody walking her down just speaks volumes about her discipline and her confidence. Again, look at that. Turn the foot all the way out. She's confident that she can land a kick, no punches with someone coming forward, and still not get countered or not get hit because she has the timing. We're going to see she didn't get hit. She slid right out of there. So she's very good at moving, scoring, and winning. Here we see her with Melo. She'll also back straight up. We saw her sit down on that right hand. She waited on that one. Sometimes she'll pull people in going straight back, which is very risky, right? Because if they fire a combo and you're going back, you're in the line of fire. But she's so confident with her timing. We're going to watch her one step. Look at the high hands from Aldana. Sliding back, confident. Look at that high left hand. And as she fires out, she touches her right down the middle. There's that sit down right hand that she has. Very confident, stings her badly. And you know, you start walking someone down and you feel like you got momentum, and then boom, they hit you with a hard right hand and they're right in front of you, and then they slide out of the way, which is exactly what she's gonna do. Really breaks your rhythm. So here we see her with Melo. We've seen her throw the kicks. We've seen her throw them to the legs, right? She gets the other athlete thinking about her low kick. She's moving, she's sliding. So here she's in pretty close, and she lifts her leg up, and we're gonna watch Melo react here. I want you guys to watch this hand, right? And again, pretty close proximity, which it's risky to throw kicks. You're on one leg. If the other person counters and hits you square, you're either gonna get hurt or you're gonna fall down, both of which are not good propositions. So I want you to watch that hand and what she does with that hand. She's gonna take this hand and she's going to try to grab and parry this. Look at this skill here from Aldana. Aldana is gonna take this leg. She's gonna go up and over this hand here. Look at this flexibility. Look at how high she's got her knee up here and the balance. She's gonna take it over the top and she's gonna throw a head kick in that close proximity and go all shin to the head. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. This is so well done here. And the fact that she did it in such a tight space like that really speaks to her ability with her legs too. And even though we talk about her boxing a lot, I don't want her kicks to get lost in the fold. Look at that extension on that head kick. Just beautiful work there by Aldana, showing her ability to throw kicks, even head kicks in that close. Awesome stuff. But we see the clinch here from Melo, and people always try to do this to her. They try to grab her, and this is why we put this in. We saw Yana get stung and try to grab and grab and grab. We're just gonna watch how smooth Aldana is at just kind of framing away here. We see Yana, she's waiting for it, and here comes the charge. Watch this little frame right here. She's just gonna get a little frame. She creates a little bit of space right up top, and we're just gonna watch her feet. Watch her turn her feet out here. Push away, turn the feet out. Now she's completely reset. She went southpaw, she went orthodox. Aldana, very good at footwork, putting herself in positions to succeed all the time in the octagon.
She will need all her tools against Amanda Nunes. And before we get into the grappling on each side, we're going to go into the numbers a little bit because, Sayif, there are some numbers that tell a story here when it comes to the grappling. Which one stands out to you?
Well, Brendan, I mean, what jumps out to me is this takedown average, right? 2.68 to 0.2. And also the second most takedowns landed in women's bantamweight history. I think that it gets lost in translation because Amanda's got all these big moments and all these highlights with her striking, how good her wrestling is, right? She uses it a lot. She uses it offense, but also she needs to be defensively good at wrestling as well because people want to take her down. They don't want to get hit with that power. So I want to touch on that first, kind of look at her defense first. And this is a perfect example of it because here she is against Sarah McMahon, Olympic silver medalist. She's probably the best wrestler ever in the history of women's MMA as far as credentials go. Very, very powerful, and she's just got a very solid base, right? Not easy to deal with, very physical. So this was a big test for Amanda, and we know Amanda's got great striking. We're going to see her here. She's going to kind of make a mistake here. She's going to throw this leg kick, but she's going to throw a real big leg kick. Look at the hands open up. She's taking a big step. She's even looking down when she does it, right? And you see Sarah McMahon's posture. Sarah McMahon is just waiting right here. She is just waiting. She's straight up and down. She's not moving. And I mean, she's just walking it in. And that's what wrestlers like to do. If I can touch you, I can take you down. So Amanda throws this big kick. Here it comes, and Sarah times it. Here comes the right hand, kind of knock her off balance. And she's going to collect her legs here and get in really deep on this shot. We see Amanda gets this whizzer, and we're going to talk about this right about here. So Amanda's got this right here. She's got this whizzer, and Sarah's in deep on her, right? She doesn't have an underhook on the other side. This is a good position here for Sarah. She's going to collect the legs and really start driving in here. But the whizzer is what saves her. She takes this whizzer and she hikes her up. And you're going to see that Sarah McMahon is going to get hiked up here. You're going to watch Amanda hike her up, and right when she hikes her up, she gets some space. So Sarah McMahon, no problem. I missed my first takedown. I'm an Olympic wrestler. I can chain wrestle. And we say is when you miss your first takedown and you're down low, come up to the body lock. And this is exactly what she does. We call it biting up to the body lock. And we're going to look at this lock right here. This is great position here for Sarah McMahon. Double underhooks, body lock. I mean, if you told Amanda, hey, you're going to be in this spot early in the fight, she's like, man, that's not going to be good. Sarah McMahon has done this thousands of times from this position. Very, very comfortable. Many ways to finish. So let's watch what she does. Sarah McMahon uses the body lock. She gets her position. She steps through and she steps behind. This is exactly what you want. She's using her head as a lever to knock her off balance. She's got the body lock. She's got her knee behind, and she's using her hip behind her to bump her backwards, right? This is a great takedown. It's very, very high rate of success. And the position that she was in, you would think for sure that she would finish. And I'm just going to slow play this just a little bit. And we're going to look at what saves Amanda here. Just one little detail right here. And this just shows you, this is just a champion's heart too. Amanda's just got this little toe, just dragging. And this little toe was how she kept her balance. And what you want to do in this position, Brendan, is you want to get this leg behind again, right? I don't want to have you behind my hips. I need to step behind you again. And that's exactly what Amanda's going to do. She keeps her balance miraculously. She takes that leg out. Look at the focus. Look at the intensity. It's there. She still has this whizzer barely, just barely hanging on here, which speaks to her athleticism. When I watched this, I was pretty impressed. She's going to get that back down. Now, all right, she got out of that. That's the second takedown she got out of in a row. But things haven't gotten a lot better for her. Sarah's like, wow, okay. She still got the body lock. She's in deep with double unders, right? Sarah McMahon, again, great wrestlers can chain. She's like, man, this girl's stubborn. Let me step inside here. So here she steps inside. She's got control here. She loads the hip, and she's going to try to hip toss her and kind of work through here. Another pretty high percentage takedown. We see that Amanda just has that little whizzer, just a little bit. You want that a lot deeper, but that just makes this much more impressive. So she steps through, and Amanda, we're going to see that. Amanda is off the ground here for just a second. She's off the ground. Look, completely off the ground. But again, she's like a ballerina here with her feet. She's going to land that toe right there again. And these are the moments, right? These are the moments that change a fight. Maybe McMahon gets his takedown. Boom, she's heavy on her. This is earlier in her career. It breaks her. Who knows? But that toe again, and that scramble and that mindset to keep going saves her. So she stops this takedown. She uses that whizzer hard here now. Now this is what we want. We want to pummel inside. She creates space and she's out of there. But this is such a good example of her takedown defense. She's not easy to take down. This is why people don't try to take her down. She shut down Sarah McMahon. 3 attempts there. Here she is against Raquel Pennington. We know that she was eating up this leg. So here she goes. She's chopping that leg down. We saw that. We saw her adding on the punches. There she goes, adding on the jab. And Pennington was really getting eaten alive here on the outside. And something we all know about Rocky is that she's super tough, right? I mean, she's just not a person that's going to quit. So you can see Pennington kind of thinking here, I got to change the momentum. So Pennington's going to come right at her. Sometimes that's just what you have to do. You just got to close the distance. Things aren't going well. I got to get inside. So she throws this jab. This is just amazing. Again, the timing of Amanda Nunes and just the fight IQ and how she uses her grappling. She's trying to punch her in the face. No real contact. We see how high Amanda is here and where she's at. So Raquel's like, okay, we're about to get an exchange. Watch the level change here that we get from Amanda Nunes. She's going to level change, get her head way in here deep, and get on this double. She's got her hands underneath the thighs, and even though her hips are out a little bit, she surprised Pennington so much from where she was to where she now is. And we're talking about a split second. I mean, that happened very, very quickly. Now she's going to power double her. This is a power double whenever you can just rip somebody off the ground like that and flail their legs. And you can see the major driving point here is the head position, right? The head is like an arm. The head goes in the middle and you just take the leg. So this is all about timing, though. It's the timing of Amanda Nunes that lets her land this takedown so perfectly and so effortlessly. She's in a control position. Here she is again against Pena. We talked about the southpaw. She's out here. She's feigning. She's faking. Is she going to throw that combo over the top? Is she going to throw that front kick? We looked at all that stuff. We know she has all that. Pena's thinking about all that. Is she going to front kick me? Is she going to throw that combo? She's got to download all that information. Let's watch what Amanda does. Here she's pumping a little bit of hands, showing her something. Here she comes. Nope. I mean, the timing on these takedowns, she gets a little high crotch entry. But again, we see how high she is and where she's at, right? And where she starts at and how she sets up those takedowns and level changes. The timing is so good. She's going to get this hand. You see it behind the knee. She likes to kind of run this little knee tap, and she runs to that side a lot, and that's what she's going to do. She's going to run that knee tap and just drive her legs. Run. Get Pena down. Great takedown. Great timing. Good control. Now, what can she do on the ground? Here she's got Sarah McMahon down. We just want to go over the details. We know she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She's getting big height here. Let me get some big heights, gets my head up top so I can get a lot of velocity and bring this down here and get some momentum, right? Cause some damage. Watch how she transitions this. So as she's trying to hit McMahon kind of blocks out with her hand. She's going to switch from a ground and pound mindset as she sees Sarah covering up. And I want you to pay attention to this foot. Remember this foot. Right now, she's only got one hook right here, and that's important, okay? So as Sarah's kind of defending, she goes, you know what? Let me throw a couple more shots. Let me switch my approach here. And very subtly, Amanda has taken the back tight. And we always say this, you should be like a sticker on the back, right? There should be no space, right? You hear backpack, you hear a lot of stuff. I like to say like a sticker, right? That you would try to fold on a ball. It's not always easy to do, but it's the head position and how she traps her. There's no space here. And you can see, even though Sarah's not fully on her belly, She's already got that hook in there. She's already snuck that hook in. And what she does with this position is really, really good. We know Sarah's strong. We know she's got a good base. But Sarah's kind of forced here to move. And we see during that whole time, Amanda's just got her foot controlling that foot with the hook. Now, here's that other foot that was already just barely there as a hook. And watch what she does. As Amanda turns over, she's going to drive that hook in and she's going to start driving her hips down. She's still got that little foot hook. Now here comes the hip pressure. Boom. So she went from having her up on her base to now what? Now she's flat, right? Now she's flat on the ground. Her hips are done. This is the worst spot in MMA. I mean, there's no worse feeling than being flattened out and having somebody with the hooks in, putting the hip pressure in. I mean, it sucks, right? And in this point, you're just trying to get back to your back. You're trying to scramble. And Amanda's so good at taking the back. She does it a lot. A lot of times she hurts people. Look at the position here again. I mean, just sprawled out on her stomach, getting pounded. Very good work here by Amanda. She's very good at riding this back, right? So again, she's back to the ground and pound. She's hitting Sarah. It's kind of getting close here. Ref's warning. But she's like, you know what? I'm going to change my tactic. As she rolls over, she goes for the choke. Sarah does a good job here of trying to control, and we're going to watch this hand right here, right? You want to go 2-on-1, and she is doing that for the most part, and that's what saves her here. She's got just enough pressure alleviated to not get choked. Amanda turns it into a crank, but you still see this hand right here is what's saving her, right? It's kind of alleviating some of that pressure. So Amanda is going to make an adjustment. Watch what Amanda does. Amanda's going to attack that very hand. She's going to take her hand right here, and she's going to push that hand that was defending off while maintaining the choking hand very, very deep. She maintains the choking hand. She pushes that hand off, and then she locks up the choke. And you can see her smiling. She knows. She's extending the body very, very well. She's extending her hips again. She's got her really, really lean back. And again, very, very painful. No choice but to tap. Amanda's showing she's very, very creative and can finish the fight when it hits the mat with submissions or a ground and pound and good positioning.
I think a lot of fans would say Amanda Nunes is known as the more well-rounded mixed martial artist. Irene Aldana, more known for the striking, but has the grappling in her back pocket to use it in a championship setting.
It's absolutely right, Brendan. She spent a lot of time defending takedowns, defending the clinch, getting off the fence, but she's also got good offensive wrestling, and she's very crafty when the fight actually hits the floor. Good at submissions in the transition, and we'll take a look at some of the things she does here. So we talked about it. We know Yana was getting touched up at space, right? So we see she's got Aldana against the fence here, and we'll start right here. Aldana has one underhook, right? And this is a good position. She's trying to get the other underhook, and we're just going to watch how she goes through this. This is just all fundamental. So here comes the other underhook. She slides it up. Now she's going to grip her hands together. All right, now she's got a lock, okay? Now the battle is about head position. Whose head is lower than whose? Who can turn who? And this is going to happen here for a little bit. Nothing none of us have seen. They're kind of just battling for position here. But I want you to watch how slick this is and what Aldana does here and how she creates space. So we know, again, she's got this lock. She's going to get like just a little hip toss, not to finish either. She's got good wrestling to counter as well. So we're going to see her here. She's going to get just a little flare, and then right away, you can tell she's not trying to finish because watch what she does with that hand. I want you guys to pay attention to how she releases that hand right in the middle of it. So you know she's not really trying to go for the throw. She just wants some momentum. Right when she gets momentum, look, she releases that hand and she brings it up to frame. And you're going to see it come up as a frame. And she grabs the shoulder. So she's used that momentum and created some space. Got the other hand out and created a frame. So I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, she's on that shoulder. She's trying to push away. I was like, that's kind of interesting. But what she does here is really slick. So what she's going to do, and this is a Muay Thai trick, you don't see it a lot, but it is Muay Thai. She's going to connect her hands here, and she's actually going to use that lock on the shoulder, right, to control Yana and pull her in, right, and pull that part of her body down. And she does this in a great way. She pulls her down right into a knee. We see her landing a good knee right here. And again, just a little bit of a different control point. Usually you see it behind the head, right? You see the tie clench, everybody's pummeling inside. Here was her creating a little bit of space, a little bit of a frame to be really slick and create a knee. Now she's going to keep that control point with those hands, right? And she's going to pull Yana in again. Right here, she kind of doubles up on it. And here comes another big knee. Boom. I mean, she's getting good momentum on those too. So she uses these little tricks against the fence to not get taken down, to create her own space and her own situation. Here she is against Betch. She comes underneath, and we're going to see how physical Aldana can be. Again, I really like the attacking the head. You always want to attack the head on takedowns. When somebody shoots in on you, you want to separate their head away from your body, and that will always put them off balance. And this is what she does very effectively here. She's pushing down on the head. She pushes her all the way to the ground. Nice little shot right there, and she's on top. Now this is probably her best skill on the ground. So she's on top here. She's got that hook in, but this spot right here, you can tell she's kind of attacking the arm. She doesn't really look like she's got a whole lot of control, right? Like she could slide off the top. We see people do this a lot. That's why we don't see a lot of arm bars anymore in the UFC. People aren't trying to arm bar off the top. Aldana is so good at it. Trains with Diego Lopez, who we saw do this beautifully a few weeks ago. And I know that he's been her jiu-jitsu coach at times too. I know she has another one, but her ability to attack on bottom is a key here that can't be overlooked. Not going to be easy to armbar Amanda Nunes, but I want you to watch how she finishes this. So she gets Betch here. She finishes this armbar, and it's like, okay, it got tight. She bellies down. All right, there's the tap. How did that really kind of happen? And we're going to break this down here when we see this slow-mo right here. So we see this position. She's looking for the arm. Now let's just stop right here. Okay, again, like I said, look at her momentum, Brendan. I mean, this isn't like some ideal situation, but her creativity and her skill level are what we need to look at. Betch is like, I'm going to hold the foot, right? So that way you can't get any pressure, can't get a fulcrum on me. Watch what Aldana does. And we saw this flexibility with that head kick. She's got some good flexibility. She's going to break free with her legs, and she's going to get a lock, like a body triangle lock, almost perfectly because she got long legs. You really ideally want it behind the knee, but the fact that she locked that up in that position with her head falling over in the middle of that keeps a hold of this arm, and let's watch what she does. She's going to use this lock as a fulcrum point, and this armbar is going to get super tight here. When she bellies down right here, look at this position of her arm. I mean, that is a tight armbar, and look at the hips driving straight down. I mean, she's got all of her whole body power. That's her elbow going the wrong way. I mean, the tap was quick, and when people saw it first, they're like, oh, she gave up. She did not give up at all. Very crafty armbar, the way she lands that, the way she transitions to it, and she does it a lot. Here we see her with Yana. Here's her on top, right? We've seen the submissions. We've seen the scrambles. What's the ground and pound look like? Well, here she is landing big shots on Yana, gets her to turn over. But let's take a look at kind of what's going on here. What she's doing here, Brendan, is she's holding on, and she grabbed her bicep from underneath, right? So she's got her arm trapped. She's also got all of her weight sitting on her leg. Yana's leg is in the air here, right? So again, she's not all the way belly down, but she's kind of in a halfway position, controlling the wrist, controlling the hand, which allows her to what? Allows her to tee off with that other side. She's going to land some really good shots here on Yana and really hurt her. And once she hurts her with these big punches, Yana's trying to grab. She knows that she needs to block those. Big shot here. And Aldana starts to creep up. And these big punches, she's still got the hand there. She's let go of it, but it's too late. She's already got her position. Irene and Aldana, dangerous on the ground. Also very good counter wrestling. Very, very slick work.
You mentioned that Amanda Nunes has double-digit championship fights and wins as we go to the X factors, and one would think that Amanda Nunes' experience in these big moments is certainly going to play a factor.
10 title wins. I mean, that is huge number. It should be celebrated, man. We got to give this girl respect. The reason I open with this is we heard about it a lot. We know Valentina. We know she just lost to Aldana's teammate.
Yes.
But Valentina deserves a ton of respect, was a great champion. And this is, two of maybe the best female fighters ever. We'll see what Grasso does. Got to give her respect as well. But going up against each other. And the reason why Valentina wasn't a 35er and didn't have a reign at 35 was because of what? Was because of Amanda.
Yeah.
So this was their second fight. And this fight was a very close fight, right? It was a split decision fight. And in a split decision championship fight, and she was the champion, you know the fight was close, right? Because the champion, you got to kind of beat the champion. So a split decision, very close fight. So here comes Valentina. She comes in with her Superman punch, super dynamic, one of the greats. Valentina over the top. And we've talked about that timing of Amanda. So here comes Amanda on the body lock. She's kind of figuring it out. Valentina with her patented head and arm throw, which works on some people, but it doesn't work here. And I don't know, maybe Grasso studied the tape here. Watch Amanda pop her head out right away. And this is what champions do, right? They always win the scramble. They realize that those small moments are what matter in the big fights. And here's Amanda, huge fight. This is at the end again. It was super close. She goes to work. She starts hitting. There she is on her hook again. We talked about how she gets chest to back and how she's good at taking the back. A jiu-jitsu black belt. She uses it a lot. There goes the other hook. And now here we are in a super close fight. I'm a judge, and this girl's got back control. I mean, that's big, right? And that was one of the major factors. But here's the one I really kind of want to break down. And this just comes down to grit and toughness. Valentina's got the underhook right here. And, it's the end of the fight. Amanda's got her butt in the air a little. She's tired. They're both tired. Two greats going at it, 25 minutes. And we're going to see Amanda try to get this takedown here. She's going to try to pull, and this just takes a ton of energy, especially in the 23rd minute or wherever it was. So here she's going to try to pull, right? That underhook stops her. Okay. Again, tries to stop her. There goes the leg reap, right? So that's the second attempt, right? Well, Valentina's good. She's got good skill. She wasn't the champ that long for a reason. She has that overhook. And like we saw with Aldana and Amanda, she does just enough to stop the takedown. She's going to pull her leg out. But here goes Amanda again. I'm going to get what I want. Digs in there deep again. Gets the hands locked under the butt. Hands under the butt, under the legs. You're getting that takedown. Well, not when you're fighting another great. Valentina again is going to stop this takedown. Somehow, some way, she's going to will this. Look at Valentina's face. She shoots this underhook again right here. I mean, all heart here from Valentina. And now Amanda's kind of up, right? She doesn't have that low load to pull. So she stops that takedown. A lesser fighter would just be like, oh man, geez. All right, let me just stay here. Let me just clinch. Let me just clinch for a second. Let me just breathe. Amanda is a dog. When it's time to fight, look at that. Drops the butt again. Nope, I'm getting this takedown. I'm winning this fight. I'm ending this rivalry. And again, super close fight. And that was one of the key points right there. She knows how to win and how to compete in those championship moments. And finally, here she is against Megan. And we put this in here because we know Megan wasn't really prepared for this. She did not look good in this fight. But we want to just talk about how creative Amanda is in this situation. Here's Amanda with this triangle position, switching it to an armbar in a title fight. It doesn't matter if she's got a lot of experience. It's still such a good submission. And we see Amanda smiling here. She's just smiling. Look at her face. She's got a big smile on her face. She's enjoying herself. She's having fun in there. She's loose. She's so used to these big spotlight moments. And we've got to really take this under consideration and advisement. She shines most of the time in these championship fights. So got to be a big test here for Aldana.
You mentioned the grit and toughness that Nunes has to get it done, especially in those deep waters against somebody like Valentina Shevchenko. Grit is exactly what Irene Aldana has shown in some fight of the night fights that she's been in, and figures to need it in this one.
Absolutely, you're right, Brendan. And Aldana has been behind before, but she's never out of the fight. She's very, very tough. She never quits. And we're going to use this as her first fight in the UFC. Well, it's funny because we talked about her ability to circle wide and not get hit with the right hand. Experience is something, isn't it? She's probably learned this from this. Here she's trying to circle to the power side, and here's a big shot right here. She gets dropped, right? She's too narrow. She gets hit by Leslie Smith. Leslie Smith's on her. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes here's where fighters what? They capitulate. Not Aldana. Did you see her moving her head? Watch her be a dog here. She's like, nope, I'm not quitting. Already back up. And I thought this was super impressive right here. She gets back up, but not only does she get back up, she lands this little uppercut right here. Boom, right? Gives Smith something to think about, and then throws another punch right here. So not only am I up, but I'm up, I'm out, and I'm fighting. And that all happened pretty quick. And she would go on not to win this fight, but it would show you kind of her mindset, how she never gives up. And this would pay dividends for her later on. This was a crazy fight, a fight of the night. These two went at it. I mean, you know, we showed a little bit earlier. Bloody. I mean, they were the second or third fight on the card in Dallas, but they got fight of the night. Just showed you how great of a fight it was between these two. But I want to watch this right here. So these things happen in a fight, and you can really see the character and the mindset of the fighter. Here, Aldana is going to get a really bad eye poke, really bad. And you can see it. I mean, it's fingers right in the eye, and it's deep in there, right? And it happens very, very quick. But you can tell by her reaction right afterwards, she's going to walk away and she's going to grab her eye and she's going to kind of say, hey, like, whoa, I need a break. Well, in the rules meeting, in the refs meeting, don't stop unless what? Unless I stop you, right? And the ref didn't see it, and it happens, you know? We're not calling anybody dirty, it just happened. Watch how quickly she's like, all right, I'm in a fight, whatever. She completely deals with it. She gets that little blink, but watch, we'll just let it play. She's right back into the fight, right? She didn't feel sorry for herself. She gets right back to work. This was a super close fight, and she would pull away in the third round just by outworking the girl. So this shows her ability to deal with adversity and kind of keep going and deal with it quickly, which is very important against Amanda. And finally, here we see her against Macy. This was a really, really close fight. I had a front row seat for this fight.
Yeah.
And I thought when she got this takedown, I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. Macy had gotten some really good positions on her back the round before. And I was like, man, if we can, get to this spot, this will be ideal. And Aldana knew that, right? And Aldana keeps her guard closed. She's trying to control here, the shoulders. And a lot of people said this was lucky, but when you watch it, nothing's lucky in the octagon. She throws this huge up kick and hits Macy right in the liver. And I didn't know what was going on, really. It took me a second even to figure it out because Macy just fell. But when you watch the replay and you see the location and the way she does this, look at what she does with her leg, right? She's going to wind this thing up way back here, and she's going to get all her legs in there, and she's going to hit with the heel, right? And again, never out of the fight, right? That's what we say. You're never out of the fight. It doesn't look great when you're on your back and you're kicking up, but it doesn't matter. It ended the fight and got her where she is now, the title fight. So her not giving up and keeping her mind, watch her wind this thing up. It's not like she throws it, she winds it up, and the liver shot is deadly. And we always see that, oh, the guy gave up, right? I think I saw Garcia, he had a little delayed reaction. Oh, they gave up. Let me tell you guys what's going on with the liver shot. The liver filters the blood, right, and the toxins. What happens when it has that trauma, right? It releases those toxins and a big amount of blood, right? So your blood pressure goes down immediately. Well, when your blood pressure shoots down like that immediately, your body goes, man, we need to get horizontal fast, right? Something ain't right. Watch the reaction from the athlete. That's why it's always so weird, kind of. It's like, well, what happened? Looks like it froze them. Your body is dealing with a huge trauma. Those toxins, that blood floods out, your blood pressure drops, and your body goes, I need to lay down, right? It's a natural reaction. It doesn't even matter. Look at Macy's face. She was in tons of pain. It goes away fast, but it works. So Aldana is never out of the fight. She's shown that scrap from her back, from the top. Doesn't matter what it is, knockdown, wrestling, she's never going to give up.
Obviously, two fighters that want it really badly. One, a Hall of Famer in Amanda Nunes, Irene Aldana trying to keep that going from Mexico. Let's go to keys to victory to summarize what we've seen, and we'll start with the champion.
Well, she's got to cut off the cage. You know, we've shown the lateral movement that Aldana has and how she moves to the power side and goes to the weak side. She's very comfortable. This is how she gets in her flow. And she can pick people apart and hurt them coming in, as we saw with that sit-down right hand, right, or that left hook. Amanda's got to pressure her and get her on her back foot, not let her get in the flow. She can do that, Brendan, with utilizing the wrestling, right? We talked about her, the second most takedowns ever in the Bantamweight division. She's got the black belt. She's got the grappling acumen. We have seen Aldana get controlled in the fight with Macy. She got controlled in the second round. And I think that Amanda's camp is definitely going to probably try to do that or mix and match. She always does that anyway. So I look for her to use the wrestling. Lastly, I think she should attack from the southpaw stance. It gives her a lot of different options, a lot of different reads to enter in on that wrestling and kind of give her a different look, kind of trick her a little bit. This is a big spot for Aldana. She's never been there. So the more that she can throw at her, Amanda, the better chance she has at winning.
And it wasn't too long ago when she lost that belt briefly to Juliana Pena. So she's still on a mission at bantamweight to really prove how good she is and how much better she is than the rest of the field. Meanwhile, Irene Aldana wants to shock the world.
I mean, you just gave me the perfect segue into that. How did Pena win that fight? She just put on a pace, right? I mean, Pena said over and over again, I'm gonna outwork this girl. I'm gonna put her in a bad spot. And everyone was like, yeah, whatever. Say what you want. I mean, obviously Amanda proved that she is the better fighter, but that high pace, Amanda does slow down sometimes. She does get a little tired. This is a short notice fight. Aldana has to act like she's there to win. She can't be fighting defensive and trying to, take her time. Otherwise, Amanda's going to run through her. She's going to have to put the pace on Amanda, and she's also going to have to keep that footwork and movement going so she can set up her offense and her flow and also avoid those big, huge power shots that Amanda has, whether it's that big overhand, her left hand, her kicks. She's going to have to stay out of the way of that. If she makes a miscalculation against Amanda circling to the power side, it's going to be very bad. And lastly, we talked about it, she needs to stay off of her back. I think Amanda's going to try to grapple a little bit and mix it up. And Aldana can't lose rounds being on her back for even short periods of time. She's going in there to take the title. She's going to have to be very, very impressive. And if it's going to be a decision in a close fight, she doesn't want to lose rounds being on her back.
Well, what an upset it would be for Irene Aldana as she's looking to give Mexico its fourth UFC champion. It goes down north of the border more than 3 years since the Octagon was last in Canada. Some of the greatest fans of mixed martial arts reside up there. Vancouver has a front row seat for Amanda Nunes, a future Hall of Famer trying to add to her legacy, and Irene Aldana, as mentioned, trying to give Mexico another title holder. For Sayif Saud, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. Thanks for watching UFC Breakdown. Enjoy UFC 289.